Alex, who is the director for this particular play, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about this. But we have Stuart Devaney, and he is playing Granny. Now he's an absolutely fantastic actor, and I'll let David elaborate on that. But thank you so much once again for coming. Feel free to enjoy a cup of coffee and a slice of cake at the end of this, and I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you again in the new year for the Saucy readings in 2011. Thank you.
Oh, yes, we're coming from there. Hi, I'm David. I'm the director of Red Riding Hood, which is running at the Fortune Theatre from November the 12th, which is next Friday? Which week are we? Next Friday, until December the 11th at this stage. But if there is a fantastic demand for tickets, then we will extend and run further, but you should come and see it early on rather than hope that it will extend, because if people come and see it early on, and we know that people are going to come and see it, then we'll know whether or not we can extend. So yes, we're changing the format because with the pantomime, we're fiddling with switches there. Are we trying to make me louder or quieter? A little bit louder, or maybe I'll speak closer to the thing. Grandmotherhood is currently up the road in her trailer, getting all made up, and there seem to be hordes of people waiting out on the corner of the Octagon for her, and she'll be down here any moment to talk to us about the process of pantomime and about Red Riding Hood. We're sometimes cynical about pantomimes. We don't see them as being the most highbrow form of theatre, and I think that's unfortunate, because I think the formative experiences for young audience members isn't usually Hamlet or King Lear or Hedda Gabler. It's it is sometimes the stuff that is bright and colourful and fun and musical and silly and full of dance and spectacular special effects. So it's great for us to finish a hard theatrical year of serious pieces with something that's fun and silly. I'm kind of keeping my eye out, thinking Grandmother will be coming around the corner at any moment. So yes, normally you would see scenes or readings or excerpts from the show that we'll be working on, but of course the actors are all hard at work in the theatre, learning their choreography and their dance steps and their music, and trying to cope with all the spectacular revolving sets and things like that. Oh, Lisa's rushing over to the corner in case Grandmother's coming in, and I can't quite see her yet. But yes, we've got a fabulous cast for this year's pantomime. Of course, Stuart Devaney, who's just been made an Arts Laureate, as you may have seen in the media on Tuesday night, and he accepted his Arts Laureate award as Grandmother, and it was the highlight of the evening, or so I'm told. None of us mere mortals are allowed to attend. But we also had Peter Hayden, the fabulous Peter Hayden, playing the villain, Sir Roger Bounder, and Dunedin stalwarts Patrick Davies playing the wolf, Mark Nielsen and Anna Henade as Morris and Boris. He says, looking at a bit of paper. And two young actors, Hadley Taylor playing Lance, who's the male romantic lead, and of course the brilliant Abby Howells playing, I was going to say Juliet, but that's the wrong show. Yeah, brilliant. Abby Howells, oh, there's Grandmother over there. Abby playing Red Riding Hood. Oh, here she is.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, everyone. I had a little accident with my shoe. I was chasing the postman. I thought he might have had a little something for me, but he got away, unfortunately. Oh, it's lovely to see you all here. How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Children. Dave, I'm so sorry. No, I don't. No.
I'll turn it off. If you're not going to use it, I'm not going to use it.
Well, where are we up to, dear?
Well, you're all right sitting on this side.
Yes, no, that's
side?
fine. It's lovely. My public here to see me.
Wonderful. Well, I was just telling the audience all the boring information like dates and times.
Oh, all that stuff. That's why I stayed away.
Yes. But just trying to get them in an anticipatory mood for your arrival.
Well, I don't think you would needed to do that. I'm sure they were waiting expectantly before you even opened your mouth.
And just really how fabulous it is to have Grandmotherhood down here with us in Dunedin,
yes,
playing herself in a show which is essentially the story of her life.
It is, yes, and what a fascinating story.
Yes, and what a fascinating life you've had.
I have. I mean, I can't believe it's taken so long for it to be got on the stage, you know. It's because, of course, I've had it written into the theatre. in the past.
In the past.
But I'd hung up the tutu and the tap shoes years ago, but little David persuaded me to come out of retirement to do the story of my life, which is wonderful.
Yes, indeed. We had many great actresses clamouring to play the role of grandmotherhood. Often the fortune likes to attract out-of-town actors, so we were talking to Meryl Streep, we were talking to Glenn Close.
Yes, of course we're not talking.
We had Robin Malcolm under contract, but then what with the current move toward equity and so on.
Well, of course she was, Kai. She did do a couple of rehearsals, and then there was that terrible accident when she was walking down the stairs in front of me. I don't know what happened. But I said to David, look, I've got the shoes, I know the lines, here I am. So, and I think it's appropriate, isn't it, to play yourself if it's your life story, don't you?
How accurate do you think Roger's script is to your life story?
Well, I mean, he's cut all, I mean, there aren't many boring bits in my life, but he's cut out the boring bits, and of course there's one or two changes to make it more accessible to the new millennium audience.
Do you think there are embellishments to your character, or do you think we've toned down?
No, I don't think there are any embellishments to my character. I'm a very modest and retiring kind of person. But Roger's sort of updated the story, to give it a kind of ecological theme we have running through it. There's a man from the conservation department who's playing the romantic lead. The other romantic lead.
Instead of the traditional wood chopper.
That's right, he's not a wood chopper, he's Lance from the Department of Conservation, and he's trying to protect the trees and the reserve. It's all set locally. It's set in the Ross Street Reservoir, that lovely place near Malden Street, where my daughter lives. I live on the other side. I live in Murray Hill, which is a much bigger suburb, isn't it? And are you from Murray Hill? Oh, you'll know what I mean. Have I seen you round the area? No? Oh, I hope you'll come and see me. We must have a chat in the bar afterwards about what it's like to live there. Yes, so there are lots of updating to it, yes.
What can we expect to see in a pantomime? Because there's not a strong tradition of pantomime as a theatrical form in New Zealand, not to the extent that there is, say, in the UK, which I suppose is seen as being the home of the traditional pantomime. What makes it different to the usual theatre experience?
Well, me. It'll be a very unusual, very not ordinary because I'm in it.
Yes.
But yes, it was very sad that we lost Robin, but I was able to step in, and of course, I know the story, and that was a big advantage.
Yes.
And I didn't think Robin was quite attractive enough, actually, to be perfectly frank. She's a lovely woman. You need that kind of mature sex appeal, don't you, ladies? And gentlemen, of course.
Yes, so we've established the story's updated for the 21st century.
Yes, it is, yes.
But the character...
It's very hip, I think that's the word, isn't it?
Yes, you use your hips.
I do, yes.
Yes,
I do a lot, yes.
Managed to remain very, what's the most flattering way of saying it? Youthful?
Well, think carefully,
exuberant?
Exuberant.
Yes. Is there a moment when you sit still in the show?
Well, not really, no, only at the interval. I'm on the go all the time. There's lots of prunes in the story. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but prunes figure prominently because, the actual experience when I went through it and going through the book was horrendous. We couldn't possibly show that to the children. So we've got another way of extracting me from the wolves inside that involves prunes. We'll leave that up to your imagination. We don't leave much up to the imagination in the show, but we'll leave that out.
It appeals to the children then. What's the attraction for adults to the pantomime?
Well, again, it's me, I suppose, and there's lots of good jokes for the adults. I said on the radio, somebody said, well, can you give me a clue as to what it's about? I said, well, it's full of hoary old gags and gaggy old jokes. And it's called the double entendre, where we have jokes that sail over, hopefully, over the heads of the kiddies there. How are you, darling? You're looking nice and pink. And and which the adults can enjoy, because it is designed for the whole family. And it's lovely, I have to say. I mean, one of the reasons that Meryl and Glenn and Robin all wanted to be involved in the show, of course, is because Peter Hayden is back on stage again, and a lot of you will know him. He's a very popular local actor. And he's playing my love interest, Sir Roger Bowman. And he's a property developer. So there'll be lots of booze and this is for him.
The 21st century equivalent to the villain.
That's right.
Yes. I mean, you've had a glittering career. You've played many of the great roles.
Oh, I have, yes. I mean, people walked over glass to see my Hedda Gabler, Medea, I've done.
Yes,
and that great role, that fabulous role, Annie Ado in Oklahoma, the girl who can't say no.
Yes,
Which is quite appropriate, really.
yes, King Lear maybe wasn't quite...
Oh, but I don't think people were ready for me. I'd like to think again, Queen Lear, we call it, yes. But I have essayed the great role. I don't think people liked me putting in all the singing and dancing.
Yes.
But it'll, it's like me, really. You keep something for long enough, it comes back into fashion.
Yes, well, look at all the productions of cabaret at the moment, inspired by your great...
That's right. They did ask me if I would go down to the court to play Sally Bowles, but I said, no, I'm telling the story of my life at the Fortune, and it's lovely here.
So, yeah, you've had a glittering career. Would you say that playing yourself in this show represents the pinnacle of your career?
I think it does, so far, but yes. Well, of course, I suppose we can reveal now that there will be a movie made of my life, and I'm going to play it. So Peter Jackson's going to be directing it. I mean, wasn't that an awful business with The Hobbit? Oh, it was terrible. Peter was on the phone to me every night about it. He was so upset. I said, Peter, get down here. So he came down to get a little bit of comfort at the hands of my motherly bosom. I had to pop him on a chair, of course. But it's all been resolved now, thank goodness. And of course I can reveal to you the end game of the whole tawdry business, because John Key's been cast in the movie. Playing the ring. But given what Warner Brothers did to him, it's quite appropriate, really. I think.
All right, well,